Okay, the recreation of the bracket. Cut this piece out now. It did live there, and managed to cut that out with my trusty saw here and the compressor. Now it's a matter of just trimming that up, remarking the holes, which I'll be able to use this piece as a guide. On the other side though, Gary, ha ha ha. And that will get the holes in the right place. And then I'll be able to round the corners off and make it better. If you're ever doing something like this, do wear a mask. I don't know if you can see on there, but look at that. That's all metal filings that were just drifting in the air. I didn't realize that initially. And then when I put the light on it and started to cut, I could see these metal particles flying in the air. And you can see them all stuck here on the base of the light, which is magnetic. Look at it. So you don't really want to be breathing that. Right, let's move on to the next phase. Okay, we are progressing. These are the 3 brackets for holding the HT leads. There is one in position, which I know I've shown before. There it is in position there. And that's just to hold those 2. Then the next one will hold 4, then 3, and then 2, and that will be it to the end. Don't think I need any more than that. So that will be good. I mean, obviously I already have them in position here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And so just a matter of mounting them in there. And if it doesn't work out because of problems for whatever reason, then I'll take it out and think again. The bracket is now made again. Sorry, spun you a bit fast there. And I've reduced the height. Now my next thing to do is to position it, make sure I've got the angle correct so that it is square on the bracket. And if not, then I'll have to elongate the holes. Also got to make sure I have enough room. That's next. On this, there are 2 more modifications I need to do. One, I need to cut this corner piece off here so that I've got enough room for the connection, because as you can see, that's right up against it, and there'll be a nut that's got a screw on there, so I've got to trim that. Also, I believe I'm going to have to trim this off here, and the reason for that is it's going to touch the exhaust, and that'll also reduce the amount of height I can get on it. I do need to get it as high as possible because of the alternator being underneath it. One step forward at last. And here they are in position. Finally done. I think they look quite neat. Not sure about the red colour, I must admit. It's something I'm debating. Not sure what other colours they do. They might do black. Maybe that would be better. That's something for the future. It depends whether this annoys me enough so that I deal with it, or whether I just leave it as it is. Gosh, it is still awfully dusty in here. I do have to get that dealt with at some point, but while I'm still working, I'm not going to worry. Ooh, look, wires not connected. I've got to do those. They're the heater, mojita wires. So I've got to get those 2 connected. What else have I got to do under here? I've still got to get the brakes to bleed. I haven't succeeded in that. Oh yes, the compressor contessa. I may have to add a piece of plate onto that. I may have to hang on a second, I may have to trim this off, don't know yet. I may have to add a piece of plate in here to give me something to weld to. And I think what I've got to do now is put the alternator back in so that I've got a guide as to where the compressor can go. Yep, All right, that's the next task. Put alternator back in. Offer up contessa. Eesh, God. It's a pain in the ass jobby, I'll tell you that, guys. And then work on this plate. Wow. No good looking at it. Oh, and then, of course, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, the washer bottle used to live here. It's not going to. I'm going to have to move it to over there. Over there. And I don't know how yet. I may have to put it down low. I'll figure something out. I will figure it out, won't I? As always. Yeah, don't really want it too near the exhaust, so we'll see. I'll figure something out. Maybe bring it forward. Oh no, I've got the radiator, haven't I? Yes. So many things to think about. All right. And also, I do want to check that I've got oil pressure. I don't seem to have any oil pressure showing at the moment. So I need to take out the oil pressure sender. And my good friend over in Austria, Classic Car Cave Dave, he had the same problem on his E-Type with no oil pressure. And he said it turned out to be that a piece of sealant from the gasket, a minuscule amount, had actually seeped inside the housing and clogged the release ball. So it was getting no pressure. So that is definitely something to look at. Yep. All right, guys, let's move on and see what else I can do before we push this video out. And it's going to be get the alternator back in. All right, I have modified this bracket now. Cut this corner off here so that when the nut goes on here, it won't foul the bracket. I've also cut this down here. And obviously this is still rough because this is going to be welded and cleaned and made to look pretty. So just thought I'd show you that. These are going to be very handy for welding to give me some strength. I will probably, I haven't decided yet, probably drill some more holes in and do some like plug welding. I'll do some on this and then maybe some on the main plate itself. I would just want to build as much strength in as I can. Considering I'm not a welder, I want to give myself the best chance. So let's get on and get that alternator in as I promised, and then offer this compressor up. Well, after lots of messing around and chopping, this is how the brackets will be on the compressor. And that's to avoid various pieces on the exhaust and the side of the engine. Now, let me get my light in here. I do have to add a piece here, 2 inches high, and to the length of that plate. Not a problem. I've got to avoid this, which is why I'm saying 2 inches high, and avoiding this piece here. I don't really want to rub up against that. Although I must admit, looking at it, I think I might be able to get away with that. No I won't. Now, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by my camera, I've got to put in a fill-in piece here. I'm leaving this gap here because this piece is just forward enough, whereas this piece is back. And it'll be a pain in the ass just to screw around with it. So I'm just going to put a piece from that little black mark that you can see right there to the end. And that will do the job nicely, I'm sure. So next is to get the alternator off again, get it out of the way, and take this plate off, weld a piece on. Once I've got that, then I can offer up the compressor again and see if I can make its final landing place. You will note that I've moved this bracket down because it was fouling the compressor. I did have it on this top bolt here, but I've moved it down, and that is just enough. Now the distance between the compressor and the alternator is minuscule. When I'm actually lining it up, I'm going to have to I don't know, put a thin piece of wood or something in there just to make sure that they're not touching, because if they touch when the engine's running, they're going to make a hell of a fucking racket, and I don't want that. All right, I'm going to push this video out again. I know it's an early one, and it's, you know, not a complete job, but I want to keep you guys on tender hooks. There is a long way to go still, but as you can see, I am finally progressing. Then I've got to decide what to do with the rest of the stuff. God damn it. I really would like to try and start this, but until I've checked that oil pressure and made sure I've got some oil pressure, I'm not going to attempt that. And at the moment I don't even have the exhaust system on, so should it actually fire, it's going to make one hell of a row. I think maybe I will, yeah, I will get the exhaust system on before I attempt to start this vehicle. It's a lot, yeah. Otherwise it's going to be noisy and objectionable, and I'm not going to like it. And also at the moment I have no water in it. Now, okay, I know I can start it and run it for a few moments with no water, but that's not really the way I want to go. One of the things I will be doing once I get the compressor in is running the lines from the compressor through to the condenser at the front, so I can get all of that mounted. I can get the grill on, I can get the condenser in, I can get the jeez Christ, radiator in, then I can fill it full of water. I don't need to get the compressor functioning. In fact, I don't know yet, I may get two belts. One that'll ignore the compressor, and then one when I'm ready for the compressor to function, then I can actually put the belt around the compressor as well. Wow. Yeah, lots to do. Hell of a lot to do. So now, again, as always, guys, it's up to you. Get out in that garage and go do some shit. I got lots of shit to do. Whew.